All right, let's stay with the story this morning and take you live to the Union Buildings and bring in our reporter Erin Bates, who joins us this morning. Erin, so widespread reaction, as one would expect from political parties. Civil society organizations now also weighing in, Right to Know on its Twitter page, calling for President Cyril Ramaphosa to weigh in, or rather to step down.
Yes, well, asking him to step down. He's already issued a statement through the Office of the Presidency to say that he's now contemplating or considering the report's recommendations. That statement out last night, soon after the report was released, and the report was actually only released publicly hours after it was handed over by Ngobo to Parliamentary Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. And one wonders what happened during that time, but what we do know is that as of when the release happened, the President has been looking through it. His statement also cautions that, there is this upcoming special hybrid sitting of the National Assembly next week. We heard there in the report that the EFF is calling for a secret ballot. And Michelle, that might well reveal some sympathies within the ANC's own caucus for pushing forward with an impeachment process. And that would then lead to a committee. It has to do work. It has to file a report. That report gets voted on. It's a long, long road in terms of the parliamentary process, in terms of Section 89. But no doubt that this has thrown a real juggernaut into South African politics toward the end of 2022.
Timing for Cyril Ramaphosa could not be worse. It's the 1st of December today. The elective conference is weeks away.
16 days, Michelle, and of course that's a very, very tight competition. It's all about getting to the absolute top of Luthuli House, the top of the governing party, and that leads you right here to the top of the Union Buildings as head of state. And so the stakes are incredibly high here. We've never seen anything like this before. As much as there were motions of no confidence against former President Jacob Zuma, some 5 actual votes, several motions sort of proposed when he was in office, they were established or put forward in terms of a different statute, in terms of a different section of the Constitution. It's the very first time we're seeing Section 89 and a panel established to do independent analysis on a complaint against a sitting head of state under Section 89 happening. I mean, this is absolutely extraordinary, and the consequences here are profound. At this very point, we have 3 very established legal minds, a former Chief Justice, a top judge who's now retired, and a senior advocate saying, we see, based on the evidence before us, that there is prima facie a case that the President may have been guilty of serious misconduct, serious law breaking in terms of PRECA, that's the Prevention of Corrupt Activities Act, and a breach of his oath of office, that he acted in violation of his oath of office and exposed himself to a conflict of interests by continuing to work or have interests and have a stake in a game farm that was raking in millions, although he says it's not operating at a profit. He still enjoys dividends from his share in the closed corporation, and keeping that going while he's actually serving the country and leading a cabinet. This is incredibly high stakes for the President and for the ANC.
And let's not forget a serious violation of the Constitution, says the findings by that independent panel. It's open season now, Erin, surely, for those who are not in Cyril Ramaphosa's camp.
It certainly is, and already we've had traditional governance and traditional affairs and governance minister on air saying that she's calling again for the current president to step aside and become a former president. So Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma quite public, quite open with saying the ANC is clear on what we do in a situation like this. The president should step aside. We had some analysts, the like of Ungama Mtinka, who were saying ages ago, this whole Phala gate opened up in the middle of this year, June 2022. Let him step aside, sort out cabinet, iron out whatever's gone on with Phala, come clean on what the situation is, and then we can move forward. So you're absolutely right. Of course, we also know that Paul Mashatile, now acting Secretary General, acting Treasurer General for the ANC, the party is going to hold a special NEC this evening. He's in the runnings for a leadership post in the party. And the temperature, I think, Michelle, on the ANC elective conference come the 16th of December has just risen 30 degrees. And it's going to be 30 degrees in Pretoria today. The ANC's elective conference is going to be well above that by the looks of things.
You're absolutely right. Erin Bates, live to us there at the Union Buildings. Thanks very much indeed. Of course, it's a story